just that kid in the white shorts is just about to get stopped, I think.
Yeah, Jimmy Saints we're live anyway. Yeah, thanks for anyone that's with us. Yeah, Jimmy Saints on now. Then we've got George Liddard to come.
Yeah, Saints just going through the motions by the look of it. He's target practice at present. He's got his opponent trapped in corner. He is working off his jab. He's just pivoted offset left. He's not letting him go anywhere. He's looking for the stoppage, and I think he's about to get it. There we go. Jay's Fight Talk called it.
Jay's Fight Talk on the money as always.
I mean, there's not much you can say about that performance other than well done. He led from the start, boxed on the front foot, looked really well, didn't take many shots, took 2 or 3, but was expecting to take the 2 or 3. I think, potentially step up. Oh, is Conor Benn there? Oh, God.
There also Denzel Bentley's there, Craig Richards is there.
Conor Benn's on comms, I think.
Quite a few of them there.
Yeah, I mean, your call shows ordinarily do now. The names, don't they? Good evening.
Good evening, lads.
Yeah, look, it is what it is, this show, isn't it?
That was some of the most biased commentary I've ever heard from Conor Benn there. As soon as the ref jumped in, he's shouting and screaming like he's at ringside, forgetting he's on comms.
Yeah, absolute dickhead.
Look, it's huge boxing. It's their first show, this one, so they've come into it and they've got more in York Hall than flipping Charlie Edwards had for a European title fight. So they're doing something right.
Yeah, well, do you know what they've done very right? They're both from Essex, I think. Liddard and
they're both at Tony Sims' gym, so they're both Essex fighters. But looking at the cards, these 2 fights, so this one we just had, the main event plus the 2 girls tonight, they're all Matchroom affiliated fighters as well, so they've already got a bit of a fan base behind them. So they've done something right.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him tested. I mean, I'd like to see him in a real fight, but
that's what they're going to be, aren't they? This huge boxing, it's just like a feeder thing, isn't it? Paddy Donovan was initially meant to be on this card.
Was it?
Yeah.
He's not fighting on it now, but he was scheduled to be on it when it was first announced, I believe.
Right. Okay.
Which probably tells you that the Lewis Crocker fight is soon to be announced.
Yeah,
if they're not risking it this side of Christmas.
Yeah, March the 1st. That's going down.
Yeah, look, I think Lydiard's in his first 10-rounder in the main event. I know the opponent, probably you could wish for a better opponent, but it's a step up for him. The rest of the cards, you've had 4-rounders and 6-rounders. So it's been probably... It's let's be fair to it. I know Charlie Sims has just said we're not aiming to be a small hall promoter. This is just a small hall show that's managed to get on the zone off of the fact that they're using Matchroom fighters, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
100%. And I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. That's just kind of what they're playing into, is the fact that they can use Eddie Hearn, they can use the Matchroom fighters to give it a bit of a bigger billing, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, look, they've got a relationship anyway. The Sims with Eddie Hearn, they've been close for many, many years. So, that's quite an easy foot in the door, isn't it? If you're looking for fighters, it works well for Matchroom as well, because they don't have to put on that kind of show where, to be honest, they're not really bothered about putting on, small hall, York Hall shows right now with where they're positioned.
Yeah, it does. It does Eddie a favour. It gets some of his fighters active. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I mean, Denzel Bentley's in the studio as well, and he's just, obviously Lydiard's a middleweight. He's just given quite a big indication that British title was getting vacated at the start of next year. It sounds like he's been asked what will you do if you don't get a world title shot, and he said, I'll defend the European. So he's going to keep the European by the sounds of it if he doesn't get ordered to fight Janabek straight away.
Yeah, I would say so. Evening, DJ Pat. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. Yes, hope, you get DAZN, don't you, Pat? That's great. Yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. Really good fight night this in your call. Absolutely, Pat. Definitely, mate. You can't beat a good night of boxing. Obviously, tomorrow night we'll be here for the majority of, most of the DAZN card. Hopefully, we'll get the Tasha Jonas fight as well, but we shall see. Yes, hi Håkan as well. Big up to Pat and Håkan over there in Sweden. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you're both enjoying the card. I know Pat said he was. I'm sure you are as well, Håkan.
Cards like this are good for boxing though, because instead of getting most of the fighters we're seeing on this card fighting in front of 20 people when the cleaner's still tidying up at 4 o'clock, you're getting them on at prime time in front of a packed out York Hall on a good platform. Like, this will do more for exposure in their careers than them having these low down fights on bigger cards, won't it? So it's, you know, it's a good thing for the fighters as well.
Yeah, definitely. It is. I completely agree with that.
Interesting to see how, you know, Huge Boxing have already said they're looking at doing another show in March or April time. It'll be interesting to see what their plan is, because obviously these fighters on Matchroom contracts, for example, it's all good getting on the cards, but how's it going to work?
How will they start? Yeah, I saw that. Pat, actually, Shannon Ryan, 3rd round KO, yeah. That was a bit of a statement. Yeah, I wonder will they start signing their own stable, this Huge Box. It's probably just another, it's like top tier and, you know, that kind of thing, isn't it?
I mean, a lot of these, so I think 4 of the fighters on the card are Tony Sims fighters. So there you go. They're already part of the Matchroom gym. That makes it easy to put them on. Charlie Sims, obviously Tony's son. So that helps with this type of cards. But talking, I mean, he's talking a fairly big game about wanting to get to a certain level with them. So, but there obviously need to, maybe these fighters will leave Matchroom to go with Huge Boxing. You never know what they're going to do. It'd be interesting to see how it progresses.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, there's definitely a space within the market for them as a feeder promotion. You know, there's, you know, they can cut themselves a little corner of the market. Certainly down south, you know, bringing their fighters on and then feeding them straight through. It'd be like, you know, a bit like the Contender Series in MMA or that kind of thing, where, you know, Eddie will get to take a look at them prior. You know, if the Sims might say, look, we've got this kid and, you know, he's pretty decent, he's 3-0. And then rather than Eddie sticking him on a curtain jerker or way down on the prelims, he can put him on here, you know, see what he's like in terms of selling tickets, see what he's like under the lights in not such a big show. Because it's got the feel of a decent show, hasn't it? A big size show.
I mean, crowd's decent.
It
definitely.
seems live. No disrespect, I'm not throwing shade, but it seems livelier than the Charlie Edwards York Hall show, for example.
Yeah, it looks it, mate. It looks properly packed out. There's people looking around at it now. There's people standing around at the back by the door, which the Charlie Edwards fight night being there didn't have to it. Yeah, look, there's definitely room for them down south. If there's one thing to say us down south doesn't have compared to the north with Dennis Hobson, et cetera, we don't really have something like what Huge Boxing looked like they're trying to do tonight. It will be good if this becomes a thing. Yeah, and if Eddie and Frank can start using it as a way to look at fighters before they move them onto their main cards, it can only be a good thing for boxing. We've spoken about our fear for the up-and-coming fighters coming through with Riyadh season, with what's happening to the grassroots of boxing. This is something that can hopefully help plug that gap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Hawkan said Shannon Ryan versus Stephanie Silva for Silva's European title should be announced. Yes, I saw that. That was the you know, what should I say, the carrot being dangled for Shannon Ryan tonight. Definitely.
Are we going to gloss over the fact that they've just announced Klitschko versus Lawrence Okole?
No, that was fake.
Is it fake?
Yeah,
it's Mike Coppinger that's saying it.
Yeah, but hasn't that come from that account that's now trying to be Michael Benson? Now
it's a fake source. They've sourced Coppinger, but he didn't say it. No, it's not true.
True. Don't you dare say that. It's true.
I think they will use it on the
if it is, Joe Gallagher will crash a Tasha Jonas interview tomorrow to announce it properly. You know what that man's
100%.
Like. If it's true, Tasha could win by first round knockout. She'd be lucky to get one word in. That fight's announced. But no, look, we touched on it loosely in the week, didn't we? Klitschko probably could be Lawrence Okole. That's the.
I think he could.
Amusing thing, but we don't want to see it.
Fit. He keeps himself fit, and I think he's the master of the style that Lawrence Okole's tried to you know, that's got him to this point. But he's the master at, you know, jab and grab. But he can also manipulate space, and he fights pretty well on the inside. Yeah, I think he's all wrong for
yeah, that's it. Yeah, boxing ho, that's it. Hawkan. There were fighters at Matchroom on assignment. Not sure if it's worth.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly, Pat. You bang on. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like Signs that just fought in that last fight. His last fight was on the Conor Benn card that they had to take out to America because he didn't have a British license, and he's fought most of his career has been on Matchroom shows, but quite low down. So something like this co-maining at York Hall on a Friday night is only a benefit for him. He sold, I think they said he sold a couple of hundred tickets off his own back, more than he can probably get sometimes on a Matchroom card, because he's been on some quite high-profile Matchroom cards early on. So yeah, it's all a good thing for them, isn't it?
Yeah,
there's carrot, like you say, there's carrots there. Charlie said for George, they want to get him towards the British title this year. So that's why he was asking Denzel, what's your plans? Are you going to vacate? Because obviously, I think he probably realises Denzel Bentley is too good for George Liddard at this stage of his career.
I think, certainly at this stage in Lilliard's career, I think, he's way too seasoned for him. A couple of years down the line, it could be a big domestic fight for maybe a world title. But yeah, if Denzel hangs around at British, which we don't expect him to do, I don't believe that there's anybody in the country that beats him on the form that he's on at the moment. But there's always people coming through it there. Let's see how Liddard goes on tonight. I'm expecting decent things. I mean, Omar Ilunga's what is he? He's had one defeat, I think.
Yeah, I was looking at his record.
I don't think he's boxed in great company, but
yeah, he's 29 2-1.
Say again.
29 2-1. Yeah, the
right.
draw was over 6 rounds in 2018. But since his last loss in 2021, he's won 1, 2, 3, 4. He's won 13 in a row since then. Since his last loss in 2021.
That's not bad for what, 3 years?
Yeah, for 3 years, he's had 13 fights and won all 13.
Good.
Majority by stoppage. He's only gone the distance in 2 6-rounders.
When was his last fight?
28th of September. He had a first round stoppage.
This is over 10, isn't it?
Yeah, this is over 10. He has fought over 10 4 times before, so he's got experience as a 10-rounder. Okay. So this is his 4th fight of the year. This year he's won by stoppage in the 3rd, won on points over 8, and first round stoppage in his last fight. There's a hell of a lot of filling on this card, isn't there?
Yeah, I did notice that earlier. Actually, a bit of a lot of filling.
It does make me think. I mean, from what their schedule was online, they were saying they wanted the main event to go at 9:45. It does make you think they obviously first fight. Are they trying to stick as tight to that as possible? Which, if they are, Jesus.
Come on, man, they can't fill for 45 minutes. Surely, to God, no.
I don't know.
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if they.
I hope they don't. But that's the only worry here, because they filled for a good 25 minutes after the 60-year-old looking fighter that's calling out for a British title shot or whatever next year.
Gives me hope, mate. He looked old, didn't he?
JFT Misfits, I'm telling you, mate. See, when this channel's got 10,000 subscribers in about 3 months' time, mate, you're gonna have calls for Misfits.
Hey, on, man. I boxed Joey Barton. 90 kilos. I'll smash his head in.
Joey Barton announced he's going into boxing, didn't he, today?
Yeah, but he's dropped a boo-boo because he's calling Curtis Woodhouse out.
Oh, Woodhouse
absolutely flatline. I know he thinks he can fight and he can have a bit of a spin and that, but Curtis Woodhouse is a decent level professional boxer.
Former British champion, Curtis Woodhouse.
Exactly. And the person he beat for that, Darren Hamilton, was hot.
Yeah, he was tricky. Darren Hamilton was tricky.
Hot at the time.
Yeah, he was.
And I know Curtis is, the wrong side of probably 20 stone at the moment. I'm joking, Curtis, but he doesn't necessarily live the life. I know he's a coach, but he's not in the gym. But give him.
Yeah, he's got Adrian, the heavyweight. He looks decent. Yeah. He's been sparring.
Give him 6 to 8 weeks. He'll beat the shit out of Joey Barton. I think he'd beat him anyway, just as he is.
I guarantee Callie Saulen's phone will never have more calls to take on someone in Misfits if he decides he wants to do Joey Barton. He's fucked off enough people, hasn't he, over the last year alone?
Yeah, he'll get a decent fight.
Get work. If he wants to do it, he'll get work.
Yeah, if he wants it, he can have it.
Misfits, call me, man. 90 kilos, I'll fight anyone.
Yeah, JFT versus Joey Barton, I'm here for it.
Hell of a scrap.
That's it. Get his people to talk to my people. We'll get it on at 90 kg. But yeah, it does look like they are potentially going to fill for the next 45 minutes, which is a shame. I'd like to see the main event, on.
So I wonder what have we heard anything on scheduling for how tomorrow is going to play out yet? With
I haven't.
Boxer don't normally announce the schedule till lunchtime on a fight day, do they? They don't usually.
Hearn and Shalom met this week in regards to Eubank Jr. and Ben. So
and they agreed a 55-45 split. Apparently,
it's mind games from Team Eubank. That is.
Listen, Ben's not going to bank. They're going to have to do 50.
Well, look, let's move on then because. Let's move on because they're never going to agree, are they? So
just forget it, man. Just forget it. It should be either 50-50 or nothing.
And if Ben is as keen on fighting Barrios as he's saying and Eddie Hearn's saying, make that fight. Barrios seems keen on it as well for whatever reason. He seems really keen on giving Conor Ben a voluntary defense, and that's what it would be. It wouldn't be a. Well, you never know with a WBC. I'm sure they could find a way to make it a mandatory, but it looks like it'll be a voluntary defense. Get that on in America next year.
Yeah.
If Eddie Hearn's talking about it being at the O2. I can see the value in that because Barrios isn't exactly the biggest ticket seller in his own right, is he?
No.
And people will turn out to watch Conor Ben regardless of the narrative of him. But otherwise, you're going to get to next summer. He's already had almost a year out the ring now, Conor. Eubank won't fight again either, and it's just going to dilute both of their values even more, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sick of hearing about it now. Chev C4's the co-main, then DJ Pat. Okay, nice one.
Just a bit
on the zone.
Announcement here, lads. We've just had an announcement. It's not boxing related; it's MMA related. But Ian Freeman's daughter's just signed with UFC. She just won Cage Warriors world title. Ian the Machine Freeman, I think it was the first British world champion.
Happy days.
Back in, we're talking probably in the 90s, early 2000s from Northeast. His daughter's pretty good. She's just signed with UFC. She's, I want to say, bantamweight. She's decent, though. She's heavy-handed. She's 6-0.
That's good. That's one criticism you probably have of the UFC is bringing through some new blood for those women's weight classes has been lacking the last 18 months.
She sells 100%. A lot of tickets, and obviously her dad's an MMA pioneer, and certainly over here. I think they'll probably stick her on in March and then look to see if they can get some momentum behind her. I know she sells a lot of tickets.
There's talks of the Manchester card later in the year for UFC as well next year, isn't there? London's March.
Meant to be, yeah. They haven't made any announcement yet, have they?
Well, no, but I know it's come out a lot since obviously the pay-per-view card last week, which if people are coming back from spending time around Dana and that with rumours, it usually has some sort of to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As long as it's not Tom Aspinall headlining defending the interim belt again, I
heard he's fighting John Jones. I heard that's happening.
I'll tell you what, possibly, but I'll wait until I'll
wait till that's happening.
See that. Nick Ball and
DJ Dehenny.
They want it.
Yeah, I watched the highlights of the presser earlier. Actually, yeah.
So that all comes from Jay. By the time me and you got off that live when we've done Inoue and Dehenny, Nick Ball had already put a tweet out essentially saying if that was me with that injury, I would have stayed on my stool at the end of the previous round rather than coming out to go out on my knee.
Yeah,
that's just the essence of
it.
To
be fair though, honestly. You can believe that from Nick Ball. That lad's just nails, man. Yeah. He's going out on his shield. I'm sure at some point in his career he's going to be hurt and stopped because of his fighting style. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will. He'll go. I
just don't see Dehenny do. I just don't see him being any. It's not his weight division. He looked terrible today. So fat.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah, he looks so old and fat. And
he probably got an absolute fortune to fight Inoue a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah. Large. He's been living it large, but this is not the comeback fight you need.
Nick Ball's a handful, man.
Well, it's not that. For me, it's the frenetic pace that Nick Ball fights at. And the way he moves left to right. Dehenny pulled his back last fight.
Trying to move out the way of how Inoue's going. And Nick Ball has that same type of movement.
Similar type of movement. He's going to be moving around him, so he's going to be doing a lot of lateral movement. I think we'll see something similar again, but he's on about, he's saying all the things he's supposed to say, isn't he, really? But
of course he is. He's not going to come over and say, look, I've come over here because I've been offered a bit of cash and this is going to be my last fight.
It just seemed unnecessarily spiteful for me. Unnecessarily so.
It just seemed to be
really...
They've got to do something.
No, but I mean, like, I saw it because I've only seen highlights, but at one point he was praising Nick Ball, he's a good fighter, he's this, he's that. And then on the flip side, in the next breath, he said something like, he's shit and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Even Nick Ball said, I thought he said I were good. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
he were just trying too hard.
It was a bit I thought that Hawkan. It is good to see Ricky Wright, actually. I thought that one was watching.
Well, our mate Dev Sahini stirred that up. He went and said, so what do you think of Nick Ball as a fighter? And as he's giving
he
brings up the tweet. And it's like, right, Dev's then sits there with his popcorn out as he's watching TJ.
Look, Dev is told by every single person at Queensbury he has to do that. So, look.
He's a knobhead, isn't he? Why don't you just be his own man? Do you think he's got one of them earpieces in, like Ant and Dec? Right, Dev? Scratch his nose.
Probably, mate. You've got Andrew Kane and Charlie Edwards on that undercard. Kane didn't turn up today.
Something about money, apparently. Edwards.
That's what Charlie's saying. So
Charlie says a lot of shit, though.
Charlie says a lot of shit.
Hang on a minute. Who didn't turn up?
Andrew Kane.
Well, he's a Queensbury fighter, is he not, Andrew Kane?
Yep.
He just didn't. Yeah, he didn't turn up.
He didn't turn up. So Charlie was sitting there up on the stage by himself. Charlie's come out saying
he's Charlie's European title.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the British Commonwealth.
He'll be getting paid for that, Charlie. You know, he wouldn't have took Andrew Kane's dangerous. He wouldn't have took that fight without being weighed in for that.
Well, look, that's British Commonwealth and European.
Mate. I'd say Andrew Kane stops Charlie Edwards.
I think so.
Vicious, mate, and Andrew Kane. If you watch his fight when he won the British off
Ashley Lane.
Flash Ashley Lane. Yeah, that was brutal.
Look, Charlie's taking it because he can pick up the British and Commonwealth strap as well. Kane's taking it because, as well as the European, Charlie's number at least top 5 with every single governing body from rankings that have come out this week. So he's seeing top 5. Yeah, for what it's worth, he's seeing top 5 rankings.
Sorry, did I make it that obvious? I was disgusted with that.
Mate, I was going to say the same thing, but your face took it away. And then you've got Bradley Strands.
It's nearly as bad as the WBC ranking Errol Spence, number 1 at 154.
They've got Charlie number 3, mate. So it's as bad as that. Charlie's number 3.
Yeah, but Errol Spencer's never boxed at 154.
Nope.
Yeah, that's some of the rankings.
That's mental, isn't it? I think Conor Benn was 4. I want to say 4 at 147. 2.
Eddie Hearn campaigns for him to be put in at number 2.
Yeah, he's ranked 2.
Yeah, boxed at 147 for 2.5 years.
No, he has. He fought in America, didn't he?
At 147. I thought he fought against 154, 150 in America, no?
That 154 against Pistol Pete Dobson.
Oh, was it?
In Feb, yeah.
There you go.
Dobson said, "You're not getting me down to 147. I'm only doing 154." And then the other fight that's been announced for that Liverpool card is Brad Strands in Baluta. So Baluta's getting another opportunity.
Baluta's getting recycled.
Oh, God.
Anyway, we're having some life here. We go for the main event now.
The old Dennis McCann recycling.
I can't wait for that fight next week. McCann and McGrail.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant. Yeah, it's going to be great. Great night of live watch-alongs. That you got
it
5.
Is, but unfortunately, I'm going out on Mad Friday on my work's Christmas do, so I will be. We can do the live, but we have to talk very, very quiet, please, because I don't drink, so I will be ruined next week. I'll be there.
Love it, mate.
Oh, bless. So, Jay, we could get a Jay's Fight Talk Sleep Diaries again. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's the one night a year that I drink.
Yeah, you got to work.
It's going to be good. I was saying to Sam earlier, I've got to work. I'm working a few Christmas parties at the moment. Next weekend, I've got to work 2 days out of Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So I've just gone Friday, Sunday. She went to my last day. Can you do Saturday? I was like, not a chance. What about double time? I was like, as tempting as that is, it's still a no. Like, you know, you boys know at the moment, I'm taking what I can get money wise. But even that, I thought about it for a second and then went, no, not a chance.
No, it's a big one, isn't it?
You can't miss it next week. It's not one of those I want to be hearing about secondhand or anything. You want to be watching it.
Yeah, no.
It's a good card as well. Like, there's fights on that card that you want to be watching.
We've got Johnny Fisher, Allen, Moses Atalma. Yeah, Dennis McCann, Bochuk Madrimov would have been phenomenal. But look, Ish gets his chance.
I mean,
George Liddard's in the ring.
And I like him and I wish him well. It's a tough night's work.
Bochuk is a problem.
Yeah.
For anybody at 154.
John Ryder in the corner. He's moved full time into training alongside Tony Sims now. He's retired, hasn't he? As his seconds. Your call looks absolutely round, doesn't it?
It does look that. I was just thinking exactly the same thing.
Bouncing.
Yeah, look, they've filled it. They've definitely filled it.
John Ryder there.
That's what I just said, mate. He's moved into being Tony Sims' sort of second. Now he's retired.
Yeah, that was part of his retirement thing, wasn't it?
Sorry, mate. I missed that.
No, yeah, as soon as he retired, it was like he's straight into the Sims gym to help out.
I think that was but if you look, he's been in and around corners for a little bit now when it's like it's not been too close to his own fight. So I think that's been a long-term plan for him.
Yeah, I was actually watching an interview with Sonny in Monaco earlier, and he's saying about what his plan is now and everything. So, like, you know, he's got it going on. He's managing Ish, isn't he? So he's over in Saudi next week. He's working for DAZN in Monaco this week. You know, Sonny's going to be all right.
Yeah, he's got Ish. He's Thomas Assomba. I think he said he's managing Lyndon Arthur as well, I believe, because he was involved with Lyndon fight out in Saudi.
He doesn't need to fight now. He just doesn't. It's not like he's walking away from millions every fight. The difference with like your Joshuas and your Fury and, you know, even Chisora.
They get retirement purses every fight.
Every single fight they're making, you know, especially Fury and Joshua, they're making tens and tens of millions every single time they step in the ring. How could you not be tempted?
Here we go, lads. Final instructions from the referee.
He's not Turkish, is he, Ilunga? Has he got the Turkish or the Moroccan flag on his
shorts? That's the Turkish flag.
It is, isn't it? But he's not Turkish, is he?
I don't know. He might just fight out of there, yeah.
He's got the Italian flag on the side of his strip as well.
It says he's fighting out of Lazio in Italy, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he's got the Italian flag, and then I think he's got Sierra Leone on back.
Turkish descent, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, we're underway in a 10-rounder.
Liddard caught him with a jab there, mate, and he just looked like, whoa. Oh, he's done it.
Jeez.
Oh.
He's done. Watch this now.
Got to be done. Over.
He didn't like the jab. He was done from the jab. He does not look ready for this.
This may be our shortest watch-along in history, lads.
Possibly. We've done half an hour filling.
Yeah. It's a good job we filled.
I'm telling you. I tell you what. You can't read much into it, though, because he looks sloppy as all.
Look, I'm not going to lie. These huge boxing cards, obviously.
Look, he's moving away every time. Yeah, there's something not right with him, man. Every time he gets clumped on his head, he's just...
Yeah.
He's down again.
He doesn't look up too much, so let's just have it right as well.
After my bigging him up.
Yeah. You know, these huge boxing cards are great, but, you know, we need to, you know...
Look, for their first one, let's praise what they've done. They sold out York Hall. They've got it on the zone.
Good. Yeah, that's it. Stop this now.
Yeah, you had enough.
Come on, ref, get in there. We don't need to say any more of this. That's it. Come on.
He's going to let him go. All right. Well done, referee. I mean,
that was
over in under 90 seconds.
I'll say great performance, but his opponent was dog shit, wasn't he, lads? His performance was dog shit, really.
That's putting it probably mildly, but look.
I'm trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
This is a new J. Come on, Sam. Encourage him.
Man. Turning over a new leaf. We're dog shit, man. Absolutely rubbish. But, you know, Liddard can only do what he can do, and he did everything right. He never took a shot. Powerful from the off. He caught him. I think he was just telling Sims there. The first punch is like an overhand right. And look.
Yeah.
It's him, like, side of his ear.
Mate, even before that overhand right, the first jab that Liddard threw out, he didn't like that. He didn't like the jab.
He didn't like it, did he? It was just like, nah, he just wasn't feeling it.
Only 22 years old, then.
Is it me, or has Liddard got a look of Cambosis Jr.?
A little bit. Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah, easy work, that DJ Pat, most definitely. Horkan said Lidovich rounds to announce him for them. Yes, I did. I read that earlier, actually. So that'll be next. He's only 22. Look, no need to.
Is that all he is? Right, okay. Don't rush him.
Okay, smooth and good. Yeah, definitely on to the next, Pat, for sure. Yeah, 100%.
As we're here, lads, Boxer have dropped the rest of the card for the Callum Simpson fight on the 11th of December.
Go on then.
January, sorry. So you got
Go
Simpson.
On then. Underwhelm us.
Yeah, so you got Simpson, Woodall's the main event. Caroline Dubois, co-main. Reese Edwards and Woodstock is the next fight.
Lyndon Woodstock, is it?
Yeah, Lyndon Woodstock.
He's not boxed for how long?
I know. Sam Hickey, Billy Denz, Mario Silva, Ellis Price. That's the card.
That's a tough watch.
Yeah, it's not the best of cards, but look, we'll watch it.
What you got to remember with Shalom is he's also got to spread his fighters out for the copper box 3 weeks later. So he's
trying. He's trying to put content out there and shows out. You know, he can only work with what he's got, and his stable's not massive, is it?
When's the Sky deal
up?
The
copper box, Wembley Arena for Razim, not copper box.
When's his deal up? Did you ask?
Yeah, when's Boxer's Sky deal up?
End of 2025. Yeah, because they signed from when they signed it. I'm sure it's the end of 2025, which comes back to what I said on No Punches Pulled this week. Are they just going to look to see it out and then move into just the pay-per-view market?
Yeah, that's. But I'm just looking at them in order for tomorrow.
They might have no choice to do that because they've only got a few marquee names, haven't they? And the rest of the stable, it's a big drop-off.
Yeah.
Like you just said there's 2 or 3 names we recognise, and the rest of them are all prospects.
What would you say, like thinking about this boxer run since they've done it, their biggest event is probably Amir Khan and Kell Brook, and that was only brought together because Khan didn't want to work with Eddie Hearn for it, so Watchalong came in and put the fight together, didn't he?
Look, they've threatened a few really good cards, haven't they? But like, they haven't quite, like, I don't know, like, I mean, even like Billum Smith at Port Crystal Palace, just like, I mean, like,
Mate, the only stoppage on that card was in the first fight on the prelims. And
do you know the best show I've watched the boxers last year was the Callum Simpson one at Barnsley?
Yeah, but that was also helped by the atmosphere, by having 5,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The atmosphere helped. He needs some help, Ben. I've told you, Ben. You know where I am. Pick up the phone. You need some help, man.
Look, let's see what he does this year. Because if they got Adam Azim and Caroline Dubois is now a full world champion. Adam Azim is going to potentially be an IBO world champion for what it's worth in the start of February. That's your basis to start building your stable on. If you can get big cards, it's almost a shame Caroline's on the Sheffield cards and not doing London cards because it would make sense. I know Shane McGuigan probably doesn't want them both on the same card at the main and co-main, but that would make a lot more sense to keep building them, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would. But, when's Ben Shalom done anything commonsensically hasn't, as is, it's, I don't know, it's going to be a tough year for them, It's going to be a tough year for them. They need some big fights. And
they need to get some signings. They need to... Oh, here we go. Found the running order. Yeah, DJ Pat's bang on the money as always. So it goes Terramona Jr., then Cully Hughes, then Ferreira, Baderza, Clark Mosquea, and MJ Espinoza. Okay, so probably come on from, don't know. Could look at Terramona Jr. We'll see where we're at.
Yeah, Clark,
Liam, you can't make it tomorrow, Liam, can you? But yeah, Jay, we'll have a look at it. Yeah, definitely.
Well, yeah. Eddie said that's been the running order most of this week, but it's boxer that look like they may do something we're not expecting with their running order.
I wonder what time the show starts. Probably about 7 p.m. Is it something?
I think it's there's no before the bell. I think it's a 7 p.m. job. Might be a bit earlier. But yeah, it looks like boxer are the ones that are going to, again, Ben not doing what you'd expect with what he's rumoured the running order being this week. Looks like Stephen McKenna might be co-main, Joe, over Lauren Price.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Question's how long will boxer even exist? A bit like PBC in the US. Yeah, definitely, Pat. That has to be, I think even Eddie and Frank used to put on fairly rough undercards for a lot of, say 6-7 years ago before they had top stables like they do now. And they were tough watches, definitely. So maybe Ben's just doesn't quite have the pulling power or budget right now. I don't know. But
the difference was at that point, though, that is when British boxing was just starting its renaissance to where it is now. So it was kind of what we had. So we had to watch it. Whereas now, because we can get such good cards from Frank, from Eddie, from GBM cards are fairly decent when they're on, because we can get such good fights from other promoters, boxers almost finding their way pushed out of an already saturated market. And that's the thing. It comes down to how saturated the market is.
Yeah. It's oversaturated and it's...
But Ben isn't helping himself with what he's doing. He's gone with the less is more approach the back end of this year and got slaughtered to high heaven for it. And now he's announced 2 cards already for the start of next year. I mean, the Sheffield one isn't up to much.
Well, Wembley now we're working with Riyadh season as well. That's the...
Yeah, of course, he's got, Riyadh season. I mean, let's be honest about it.
We should see Ben Whittaker, Liam Cameron in the first quarter of 2025. That's an open goal for them. That'll sell out any arena that they want to go to. You know,
Ben's got to climb out of his wheelchair and make sure he can walk again first. But if they can get that to happen, it's fantastic.
I saw his interview the other day. He was seconds out. He looked absolutely fine.
He looked fine in the airport when he smashed that geezer's phone as well. But, you know. But no, but looking at boxing domestically, we've got the card tomorrow from Liverpool, fairly average. The Sheffield card's average. I would imagine it's going to be similar at Wembley Arena. Because I'm a fan of Adam Azim. I wouldn't mind going to watch the Adam Azim fight, but I've said I need to see what the undercard is. Because if it's going to be another subpar undercard, it almost defeats the point of it, doesn't it? If you want to fill arenas up, especially Wembley Arena. If you don't put a good card on at Wembley Arena, you're lucky if you get 3,000 or 4,000.
Yeah, I can't see Azim Lipinets having much of an undercard if I'm being completely honest.
Nor can I, mate. Nor can I.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll leave it there then for tonight, boys.
Quick in and out.
Nice, quick, short stream. Thanks to Hawk and DJ Pat as always for the interaction, lads. Yeah, look, we'll be here tomorrow for DAZN. Hopefully, a bit of the boxer card as well. Potentially Dillian White on Sunday. I'll see what time I get in. But yeah, look, we got loads on. Fury Usyk fight week next week, all sorts. So yeah, at the very least, we'll see you tomorrow for it. Liam, have a good evening, boys. And
boys, catch you tomorrow.